What the fuck? This is our first podcast. We are the Beanies in Summer Show.
Yay.
Yay.
What?
Yeah. My name's Rich. This is Polo here with me.
Yeah, Polo. Yeah.
Polo.
Yeah.
And
Yo,
Francis.
What's up, Po? What's up?
We're the three people who are going to be in charge of the Beanies in Summer podcast.
Yeah.
And this is something we just decided to start because we've had enough.
One too many.
We've had one too many things going on. And so we had an idea for a podcast called Beanies in Summer. And it's about the things out there that we think need a little bit of attention, a little bit of common sense, things we see that go out there that bother us, that I think everybody out there is thinking, but we're going to be the ones who say it. Am I kind of leading this right? Am I kind of on track of what we've been talking about here?
I think you said that a little too politely.
Okay.
It's things that make us go, what the is going on here, man?
I'm so confused right now.
Well, yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how we got the name for Beanies in Summer, because one of the things that just kind of perplexes us, and I mean, it's kind of like not a big deal thing. It's one of those like small things, and we'll probably get into things that are much more in depth and detailed that go, what the fuck?
Yeah, man.
But for now, the first thing, it just kind of seems to encompass the whole thing is Beanies in Summer, because here we are. We live in Southern California here. It's not quite desert here, but it's close enough to the desert that we have in the summertime, we have extremely hot and dry weather. And it's not uncommon to walk around here and see in the summertime, maybe in July, August, even now, sometimes it'll get into the upper 90s or 100s. And you'll see some douchebag walking around with a beanie in the summer. And this has seriously perplexed me every time I've seen it, because where I grew up, we actually had wintertime where it snowed. And there was a purpose for a beanie. It was not a fashion statement. It was not for anything other than to keep your goddamn ears warm and your head warm and to help yourself bundle up and keep yourself nice and toasty. And then you see these douchebags walking around in the middle of the summer with a beanie on, and it just kind of pisses me off. And then I see them at the gym where they're working out. And I can get every once in a while where you might see somebody who's trying to lose weight. And I know the techniques that some people have used. I've seen people wrap themselves in garbage bags and then put sweatshirts on so they can sweat out all their weight and everything like that.
Oh, yeah, there's a whole process for that.
Yeah.
For weight cutting.
Yeah. But just the beanie thing as a fashion statement in the summertime has always pissed me off. And so after arguing, fighting,
A little bit of bloodshed.
when we were trying to figure out the name for our podcast that would kind of encompass the ideas of what we would be talking, the things we would be talking about in the future. Beanies in Summer kind of by default became the name of our podcast, and now I guess I like it anyway.
For now.
Well, we can't change it. Once we started, we can't change it.
All right. Polo
Who
here is
says?
causing
Who says
some,
we can't change it? Change it whenever we want. Yeah.
He's throwing a wrench into the whole machine now.
Already. See the covered problems we're going to have already? So when we were talking about how we were going to go about doing some of these things, we decided that the three of us and whoever else might want to come on, because I'm sure we'll have other people on probably once we get out there, people are going to start hearing us and go, yeah, I got something to say too. And I think we'll probably have some people we know on from time to time, and maybe even more often than that. But we'll have things that we do that we encounter throughout our daily lives. And if you're listening, your daily life too, you probably think the same things, and you go, what the hell's going on out there? And we are going to list all of the things for that week or day or whatever it is that has gotten into our minds that we've jotted down. And we're going to list them, and we're just going to go down a list and kind of start talking about them. And we made up a list over here on the board of what looks like, I guess, like something like a game show of topics that we brainstormed. And we're going to jump into it and start seeing what we can talk about, complain about, and ultimately use some common sense and logic to fix if people would just listen.
You're not going to change the world, dude. Come on.
I mean, I would hope. Well, I guess this is the point of the show, right? I mean, we're trying to see. It'd be a good gauge to see if that's really what's going on out there.
I thought it was just about personal therapy.
Maybe.
Well, it's that too. Yeah, for sure. Just being able to talk about it feels good. You know what I mean? And if we can even help one person, then we've done our job.
Oh God.
Love it.
Yeah. Well, there's one thing that pisses me off is platitudes. I'm tired of people talking empty speak.
One person.
Yeah.
That's depressing.
What's that?
If only one person gets helped.
It is depressing.
Or
it means we think way more highly of ourselves than we really should. If we talk about any kind of thing and only one person.
Oh man. It's almost like saying, I know I'm gonna fail and I'm gonna fail so miserably, but if I could just get one,
I'll feel a little bit better about myself.
I'll feel better about myself and the world.
Should we even discuss who we are first, or anything about why we decided to do this, or anything, or should we just jump into it? No?
We can let that come out along
Francito
the way.
says no. It's just going to happen. They're going to learn who we are as we talk.
Exactly.
Just to pick up on our personalities.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
in case they hate us, we don't really put too much information out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
I'm using a pseudo anyways.
Yeah.
Hence.
Wait,
Yeah.
Polo's not your real name?
Polo's not his real name. Are you surprised? I'm shocked that nobody called you Polo when you were born.
Yeah, I got called that.
Okay.
Yeah.
When I first met him, that's what I thought. He looks like a polo.
He looks like Polo. What a douchebag. He's like a Polo.
Whatever, man. Whatever.
And you'll never guess what kind of shirt he was wearing.
Yeah. What?
All right, what's your topic there? What you
Well,
got?
I don't know. I'm looking over here. Should we read all the time? Well, there's too many topics to read, I think.
Nah, man, just pick
Pick
one and go.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to hand it over to Polo over here, and he gets to pick the first topic.
Well, you brought up restrooms. That piqued my interest.
Restrooms?
Yeah.
Restroom peaked
Restrooms.
Polo's
Probably because I gotta go pee right now, so I'm just like focused in on it. That's what I'm looking at.
You know what?
Restrooms.
I brought up restrooms, and I can't remember what the hell it was I wanted to talk about because I had so many other.
Well, that shit show's over, right?
Yeah, that's how good we are at this production. I have no idea what I meant to say about restrooms because I had so many
man.
other things. All right, hold on.
Louise.
Oh, okay. Oh, no. Okay. Well, actually, that wasn't actually anything that was annoying me. I just had every once in a while, things come into my mind. I'm like a big George Carlin type of person. You know what I mean? Like fan of his. And sometimes he would just think of random funny one-liners. And the one thing that I thought of, why is it called a restroom? Like, why is it called a restroom?
That's true.
I mean, what's the last thing I want to do there is a rest.
You don't rest there.
No. You know
Nobody
what I mean?
does.
No.
Unless you're homeless.
The
and
first
a
thing,
bum,
the last thing I want to do is rest. I want to get out.
or a prostitute.
Yeah, that's the only thing I had about restrooms. It was just like a random thought that came in my head. Why did I call it a restroom? It's stupid. I wish I would have erased it, actually. After.
It's still stuck in my head. All I hear is prostitute.
I mean, who rests there? That's true.
Yeah,
right?
what?
Unless you're homeless or a bum. I mean, a bum and homeless, I guess it's the same thing.
No, they're not. Don't call them bums. How dare you?
I guess so, huh? That's that LA thing.
Yeah.
You gotta be all PC
Mhm.
all the time.
Yeah, they're not
Restrooms.
bums. They're homeless and they're disadvantaged.
Disadvantaged.
Yeah, whatever it is. They're displaced.
Man, I
However you
hate
wanna call it.
homeless people.
I know, man. Right? I hate seeing them around. They didn't happen 10 years ago. What happened now?
Oh man, restrooms.
We'll get to that later, though. We'll talk about. I haven't prepared anything about homeless, but we'll get there.
Restrooms. Where did that originate
Yeah, I don't
from?
know.
Restrooms.
I don't know. Restrooms.
Like if you're a foreigner and that literally translated, you'd think there'd be cots or beds in there,
yeah,
or
or at least chairs, coffee. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Some donuts.
yeah. Would you think it's like a hostel? You know,
Place where you could go take a nap.
rest rooms. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. And
You don't rest when you're taking you're like pooping, dude. You're not resting. I mean, you kind of are. You're taking a break, but you're not like.
Yeah.
Not
Well,
bad.
you're a well-traveled individual.
Yeah.
What do they have like names like that for bathrooms? out there?
No.
It would be
In Europe, they call them water closets. You see WC everywhere. Water closet. Yeah.
if you
What
close our
the-
door, if you close the door here in this
Yeah.
place, it says WC.
Yeah.
It says WC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the?
Yeah, they're called water closets. They don't
What
call them
is-
restrooms because
Yeah.
restroom is, like you said, it would indicate probably you're going there to take a break or something.
but
Like
even
you-
Well,
water
if you look it up
closet.
online, basically it says it's probably of American origin, with the earliest usages found around
Of course it is.
1900.
1900.
Yeah, that's what it says. You just Google it. But it says, of course, rest. Of course, has a number of meanings, probably in sense of repose or refreshing oneself.
Or rest your ass
Yeah,
here.
a slight variation of retiring room. A lovely upper class. What is it? Briticism from the 1930s.
Oh God.
Huh.
So there you go. You asked.
Yeah. Well, whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah. Let's move on to something more interesting. Spin the wheel and pick another one.
Pick another one. All right.
Who says hello?
Who says
yeah,
hello?
yeah. Francis
Ah.
was wondering about that one
Who
earlier. too,
says
too.
hello?
Yeah. Who says hello? What is that about?
Okay, I'll give you a scenario. All right?
Mhm.
It's your first day in the job. You're the new guy. You don't know anyone. So you walk around the hallways and you see other coworkers. Who says hello first? Is it incumbent upon you being the new guy? Or is it the other people's responsibility to do that? Because are they supposed to welcome you being the new guy?
Oh my God. Okay. Obviously, this was our first recording.
Yeah, nobody gives a shit about that.
Yeah, I think we rambled just slightly a little bit too much on the listen back to that. So why don't we kind of speed this up a little bit and get to the next goddamn topic because
Speed it up.
This is annoying.
All right, fast forward.
All right. Reality. And that when you sign that and I see whatever it is that I mean, I don't care. I will once I see that, I can pretty much box you into whether or not you and I are ever going to be friends. You know what I mean? And that is one of the reasons I love Facebook. Okay, because Facebook is I don't use it very much because I'm not active on it. But what I love about Facebook is that it basically shows me all of the people who I do not want to be friends with. Okay, it basically just gives everything away and allows me to go, you and I are never going to hang out again, even if we used to.
I love Facebook.
That's what I love about it because it gives me a lot of insight into people who I do not want to spend any time with or deal with or
I love
ever
Facebook.
hang out with.
Or is
I love Facebook, especially in the restroom. It's the best.
Yeah, it does. It catches you up on all the people you thought you maybe like or maybe liked at one point, and then you go, you know what? Yeah, that's it.
It's the
Uh,
best
but-
magazine.
but it is, I totally agree in the sense that, you meet somebody on the surface, they're cool. Hey, you hang, whatever, for whatever reason, you decide, hey, yeah, look me up, we connect. Next thing you know, the next few posts that you see from this person, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
shit, this person's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, those are the obvious ones. But there's some that are like over time, you'll
Yeah.
start to see some stuff. And you go, you know what? That's no.
We're
that
done.
the person's. But I don't defriend them. I don't do any of that kind of stuff.
You just know where
I
to
just-
set the boundaries.
Yeah, I know exactly. But why is it that nobody else can do this? It seems nobody else seems to be able to do this. Or is it? Am I just thinking that
Nobody
else
able to
can
do
it?
what?
Yeah, do what?
Well, I know you guys can.
Do what?
I'm just saying, people still engage with people that they can't stand. You know what I mean? Like they'll you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like I know a lot of people
Well,
who see what people post on not just Facebook, whatever the social media is, and but still engage with these people in life.
You know what I think it is? You have to have your own priorities of time. And when you realize there's only so much time in the day, then you start prioritizing, I don't need interactions like this. And then you just start doing what you want to do.
I think some
I-
people
I-
do.
I don't
I think
know.
some people do feel they need those
Well,
interactions.
but then
I-
that's part of the personality.
it's
and
not
that's
that.
why I don't. It's exactly why they're not part of mine. or part
I'm
of my
guilty
life.
of that, by the way.
Guilty of what?
Interacting with people that I know I shouldn't interact with.
And why do you do it?
I think I do it not because of what Rich said, but because I just hate stupidity, man. And I don't know. A part of me is kind of like, it always tells. There's a little voice in the back of my head saying, if you don't do your best to kind of combat this, this shit will spread,
Ah.
and it'll keep spreading.
No,
And like you gotta say something once in a while. I'm not saying all the
Polo
time.
saves the world.
Well, I was gonna say
I'm not,
no.
I'm just saying,
Polo
like, there's just-
attempts to save
Yeah.
the
yeah, you
world.
just see all these stupid comments and posts and all these things, and then you just I don't know.
No,
like, I
but
always,
you know what you do now? You start a podcast, and you don't have to worry about ever talking to these people again, right?
true.
Here's the thing.
You just do it blanket. You
Yeah,
go here.
yeah.
This is for all of
But
you.
I'm telling you, if I could just say one person, one person,
You won't even know. I tell you, you won't even know.
It'll be one too many.
one too many.
I say let's just let Darwinism take its course.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree. But we're not. That's the problem.
But yeah,
We
you
have too
just-
many things in place to block Darwinism, which sucks.
Mhm.
We have too much safety in here. Safety in this world.
So Facebook is your life filter for.
I think
It's
you know-
not a life because I'm very good at it in person too. I can tell when I'm not going to be a friend with anybody. But I mean, like, it
No.
just I get all these people that you get people who are maybe you graduated high school with, or you met wherever. It's some interaction. You go, hey, what's your Facebook, whatever, and then you start to see their posts,
Yeah.
and then they don't shut the fuck up. Or whatever it is, you know what I mean?
what else is
You
a
just
good
go,
gauge?
all right, that's it. Maybe she was cute, but that's it. I'm done. Just not gonna happen. Like,
I totally agree with you. It is
Yeah.
a good way to filter people
oh
out.
yeah,
You know
man,
what
I
else
love
is a
it.
good way to filter? Like you just automatically click on their friends, and then it tells you the number of friends that they have.
Yeah.
If they have over like 80,
Yeah,
that's always a warning sign. It's like, whoa.
Well,
okay,
you know what?
80 is an over exaggeration, but if they
You
have
know,
like 400, 500, it's like
thousands.
okay,
yeah, somebody has
yeah.
15,000. Yeah.
The only reason I have to disagree with you because it depends on what the context of what they do.
Yeah, of
Like,
course,
for
of
example,
course,
what we
of
do,
course.
like,
Yeah.
Musicians,
Of course,
artists,
yes,
and
yeah,
people
yeah.
who are in the
Yeah.
in the
No, I'm talking
Yeah.
about regular people that have.
artists are regular people too.
No. Of course not. Yeah, I mean, if you're in a band, musician, actor, actress, even working for social media, whatever it is, of course that's expected. You're gonna have that number of friends. But if you're a regular Joe Schmo, and you have 430 friends on there, and
Yeah, it's a little weird. You're,
yeah.
I mean, aren't you doing anything else with your life?
Exactly.
Get a fucking hobby,
Exactly.
please. You know what I mean? Like,
I totally agree, and I actually I appreciate the fact that Facebook exists for that purpose too.
mhm.
I mean, initially it was this whole thing of you're talking to a family that you don't really see that often. You're sharing little moments and communicate here and there. But then when you start getting friends that you start meeting along the way, and then you realize, ooh, yeah, I don't think this is a.
Yeah.
I don't think I could continue being
What also
interacting with this person.
it also confirms to me. I always thought I was crazy because I didn't like a lot of people, but I never really had a good reason for not liking pretty much humanity
All right,
in
son-
general.
All right, sunshine. What else
in
you got?
general, yeah.
That means you out there.
Yeah, if you're listening, I don't like you. I go on the premise that I don't like you first until you prove that I should, actually. No, but I mean, like in general, there are people, I just, it seems like we come across so many idiots in life that I just don't like them already before I even meet them, right? And then Facebook just confirms it for me. I'm like, I don't want to feel this way towards people, but yet I have no choice, I have no choice.
Yeah.
Even people, people I thought people maybe I did once like, or knew on a kind of more than just a surface level, but not very much. Like, for instance, there's a guy I know. He was like a bartender, super cool guy at the bar. When you go to at the bar, but then reading his Facebook and stuff like this guy's what that it's nothing like the guy I thought I knew. You know what I mean? Like he's just all over the place. He's crazy. He says all this stuff. He pisses people off. He does just all this stuff. And what is this guy?
Overshares.
Oh my
everything.
god, yeah. It's like,
Overshares
dude,
every thought. As a,
everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just like, dude. And then, but it just helps me filter.
Yeah.
Helps me filter, and I'm sure I don't know.
No, here's the
see,
thing. I probably am coming from the other end of the spectrum where I try to give most people the benefit of the doubt. I in general I like people until I don't like them. So I'll try to like people first, And then if they give me reason not to like them, so so be it.
I gave that up.
I'm on that boat.
I gave that up a long time ago.
I'm on that boat too. I'm
You're
on that
that-
boat too. I like to think that people are gonna be okay until they give me reason to be like, man.
No, I think that's a nice thought, but I mean, it more often than not you get disappointed. So, but I mean, like, what was I gonna say? Oh shit! I was just about to say something. I forgot.
Facebook.
No, it wasn't about that.
No.
I mean, it was about
How much
something
you don't like people.
How much you don't like people,
No,
which makes me feel nervous a little bit.
No, you guys have passed the test. You guys have passed the test. I tried, but you guys were too cool, so I was like, all right.
Things turn on a dime, sometimes.
Yeah, you never know what
You
tomorrow
never
brings.
No, I mean, it's just I don't know. It's not about I don't know. It's hard to say. Maybe I'm just weird. I think that's true.
So to me, I mean, just to get a little into it, to me, it's the oversharing of your day and your thoughts. That's kind of the red flags, like on social media.
Yeah, in fact, I saw one time. I don't know if it was an actual posting or whatever. I did see somebody was pretty on point with this one though. They said it was like, I used to want to be able to read people's minds, and then Facebook came along, right? And it's like, but back in the day, you thought, oh, it wouldn't be cool to be able to read people's minds, man, And then it's true though, right? Like that's basically what all Facebook is. You're basically seeing what everybody's.
It's what you're thinking about at the moment.
And you're like, oh man, this is what people are doing.
You talked
How
about
disappointing is humanity when you see that?
Francis, you talked about oversharing, right?
Yeah.
Are you talking about when we share cool things, gadgets that are out there, or
no, you know what I think it is? No, here's the thing. Probably to be more specific, I mean, when it comes to like gadgets, I love when people share because you're basically
certain musicians
that
are pretty dope. Or
I'm talking about oversharing your thoughts about when it comes either the politics, religion. Oh my God, I went to the doctor today and he told me this and this, and then right after that I had this amazing lunch. And I'm gonna describe every dish that I had, and let you know.
Then I had to take my kid to the doctor. Here's a picture of my kid at the doctor with
Yeah, and here's the lollipop that he got after. After I was like,
it all screams, "Give me attention."
That is
when
true.
That's the thing I'm talking about. If there's something that like other people can benefit from. Or just a funny thing. I don't mind. I love funny things. Great if it's funny, but there's certain. It's just probably the whole thing. What you're saying about like the reading people's reading of people's minds. It's just like every thought you don't have to share.
No.
Don't. If somebody just happens to be like coming across like a bunch of funny shit and cool shit and stuff, and they share it, to me that's cool. I can choose to not to.
And it's all because ultimately, if you're thinking something, especially when you're bitching and complaining about like whatever it is, politics or whatever it is, you're gonna end up looking like a hypocrite at some point anyway. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna say something in the moment, you're gonna express something, and then whenever it is down the line, you're gonna say something that completely opposes that, just because you're impulsively. Just screaming online, you know what I mean? Typing whatever it is that's pissing you off or that's whatever, and you're sharing it. And half the time, even when people call them out on it, they want to argue about it. It just gets into this stupid shit. So,
I don't. Here's a part of me though. And so if somebody's gonna pour their heart out and just like say like just get real deep into what their thoughts are, if they do it in a song, poetry. By a story stuff, okay, that's it kind of came from, or it ended up being something like a piece of art that they expressed it that way. But if you're just gonna sit there and ramble on about why I feel this way, and it's on every day and every headline, every political conversation, and you start getting just start sharing every ounce of it just in like a conversational format, it gets tiring.
Yeah. And it supposes that people give a shit.
Yeah.
It does. It just supposes that everybody is listening to you and they care about what you have to say.
Now, if
does.
if somebody's gonna really like just whine in something in a song, or in some, and they did it in some other way, I could at least appreciate the artistic effort,
Right.
and say, you know what, all right, that was cool, or maybe that wasn't cool, but I like that they turned it into something. But if you're just gonna sit there and like, I don't like this because and then just
Mm-hmm. I hear you.
which kind of makes me think, what are we doing?
Yeah, is that what we're doing?
We're basically doing it, but we're recording it. Yeah.
There's the
We're doing
artistic
it in a
side
different
of it,
way.
I
Yeah.
guess.
Exactly right. This is the artistic side of it.
We got to turn it into a song. Or
The only
or a
thing would be
poem.
different if we were just like taking a shit while we're doing it.
Yeah, who's to say I'm not doing that right now? Huh?
Probably are.
Let me go on Facebook real quick.
Yeah. No, this is our version of Facebook.
That's true.
Yeah. We're like shitting while doing this.
No,
right?
do you know what?
Just
Though,
like you do on Facebook.
here's the difference, though. We're actually setting the time to do this for the purpose of doing a podcast.
Yeah.
Now.
It takes effort.
Yeah, and here's the thing: we post it, and that's what it is. That's the conversation.
We have a product out of it.
But that's what it is.
Yeah.
If then 5 minutes later I start, writing some, 10,000 word essay on something, and then a half hour later I start, pouring it out again. I mean, I don't know. I guess that's what blogs are for, right? But unfortunately, people are treating their Facebook walls and or their Instagram or Twitter, they're treating that as, their personal blog, which I guess some people can live with. I just can't.
Well, hence the 450,000 friends.
Yeah.
Right? That's what it is. Got to get their thoughts out there. Speaking of thoughts, my thoughts and prayers.
You got thoughts on prayers? Or thoughts and
Thoughts
prayers?
and prayers, huh? That's the double whammy right there. Thoughts and prayers. And we got beat to that, huh? We talked about that.
Now, what's that about?
I'll let Rich explain that one.
Well, I mean, it seems to be that every time, everybody knows about this. Anytime something unfortunate happens in anybody's life, or something major happens, like a hurricane or whatever, speaking of Facebook, all you see is everybody out there sending thoughts, sending prayers, sending positive vibes. They always say to shit like that. You know what I mean? Thoughts and prayers. That's it. That's where it ends. That's where it starts and that's where it ends. Okay? As if that's some sort of magical, I've done my job. This is all I need to do. I'm not going to do anything about it. I'm just going to send thoughts and prayers, and that's going to make everything okay. You know what I mean? It's a symbolic, stupid gesture, as far as I'm concerned.
It is. It is. It's almost like washing their hands.
Yeah.
Of doing anything of substance about whatever it is.
Anything
that needs to be done about. Just like all these hurricanes and all this, earthquakes.
Yeah, and have
Things
you
like
noticed
that, yeah.
there's no different levels of thoughts and prayers? I mean, you'll see like somebody will say, okay, well, it's always on Facebook, but I mean, people say it, in life every once in a while, like in real life, they'll say, oh, send them my prayers or whatever, but it's usually written, right? So there's it's the same level. You'll have somebody will say, oh, my son broke his leg skateboarding, right? Oh, thoughts and prayers, hope he gets better, right? And you see that, right? You've all seen that, okay? Then hurricane, like Puerto Rico, Florida, Texas, hurricane, thousands of people out of their houses and homes, hundreds of thousands of people, jobs lost, all whatever, you know what I mean? Disaster. What do you see? Thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and prayers. It's the same shit. You know what I mean? It's like this, there's no different level of thoughts and prayers. Just thoughts and prayers is enough. It covers everything, every disaster and every minor little thing. You scraped your toenail. Oh, thoughts and prayers for you.
So would you
tornado
say,
hit your house? Thoughts and prayers for you.
So are you saying people should just cut it out altogether, or just be more sincere?
Well, I think what we've gotten to is this whole level of everything is symbolic anymore. Nothing ever is actually real. Everything's about words, and that's enough. There's nothing done about doing anything about anything. It's just
But words can be
saying
powerful, though.
stuff. Okay, but how powerful? Thoughts and prayers? I guess that's real powerful.
Well, they're
You know what
only
I mean?
powerful when there's some sort of action,
Yeah, there's got to be something
that's
tied
taken.
to it.
But I mean, otherwise it's just words.
Yeah.
But there has to be an action that follows it.
For example,
Even
I mean,
even an emotional reaction is an action.
well,
but-
I guess I'll ask the question because of like, if somebody dies, and you say, hey, or my condolences.
Yeah.
And some people say like thoughts and prayers, meaning for you and your family, and kind of like I look at it as maybe I'm not looking at it the same way you guys are. I'm kind of looking at it as, hey, you know what? I'm thinking about you guys, or I feel for you, and my condolences. If that happens, what in your ideal scenario, what would be a response that you wouldn't think this way?
Well, I mean, in a funeral, my condolences is all about you can do. You can't bring the guy back
Right.
from death, or a girl back, or women back from death. But when something
Or the
happens, like a
transgender.
hurricane, or yeah, that's true. Huh? That's
Yeah,
another
come on
topic
now.
for another day.
Or what
I
was
said
it?
or the
like-
transgender.
Whatever means they want to
hermaphrodite,
identify.
Yeah.
Whatever pronoun.
Yeah.
Whatever pronoun.
That's
it is.
another
That's it.
conversation
Oh,
for
we
the future.
should. Yeah, we got to get that on the
That's
board
a
for
whole-
sure.
Okay,
But I mean, a hurricane or an earthquake, there are people that actually need something of substance for assistance.
Yeah, and
So-
why
so-
do you think just going online and typing my thoughts and prayers are with the people in Puerto Rico? Why is that?
Yeah, I mean,
Why do you even need to do that?
True. I mean, if you donate $1, that means more than
Yeah.
saying thoughts and prayers.
Yeah.
If you donate a cent,
But
that means more.
I guess I can see where you're coming from, and from that sense. So is death like the exception that you won't really comment on?
What do you?
I don't care about that either. I mean, what do you mean?
Like for example, you're saying.
Well, first of all-
you mentioned about a kid broke his arm,
Yeah.
and then you mentioned a hurricane.
Yeah.
Well, what if, hey, my dad died, my mom died.
Okay. See,
My
it's
brother,
different
sister.
when it's.
But see, here's I wouldn't tell you, or ask you, anything you need. I'm there for you. I wouldn't say that to you unless I actually meant it. But people say that.
Yeah.
They'll say things like that. They'll be like, if you told me your dad died, I'll be like,
Yeah.
hey man, anything you need,
Yeah.
just hit me up.
And they're
you
just
know?
hoping that person doesn't call their bluff.
Yeah. That's why
I
I would
see what you're
never say
Yeah,
that to you.
yeah.
I would, I would
But
just
what
say,
if they just said, hey, man, my condolences, thoughts, and prayers to your family? They didn't offer anything.
Do they mean the prayers? Are they really
Well, I don't
religious?
know.
Are they really praying?
I don't know, man.
What the hell did the prayers do in the first place?
Well,
You know, like,
so what you're saying is, so in as
and what
a
the
third
thoughts do?
as a third
what are you
party-
thinking about?
So as a third party observation, from your perspective, person one says, hey, family member died. Person two says, hey, my condolences, thoughts, and prayers with you. You're as a third person.
One
you're
of
going,
those
what
are
the
not.
fu- huh?
Condolences, thoughts, or prayers. All three of them? Fuck
Uh-huh.
that. They're lying. They're full of shit. That's just someone going, just rambling. You know what I mean? My
Really?
condolences.
unless
They're
they
not.
meant it,
Really?
unless they meant it and actually did it. Like if
No, but
if
if you
their
can't-
condolences are really are genuinely
sincerely
there.
What
felt-
thoughts?
Yes, they
What does that
sincerely
mean?
felt-
What thoughts? My thoughts are what thoughts?
That's true. I mean, that's
What is that?
that's
The
so
hell does that
ambiguous.
mean?
See how you're getting literal, in this, or you want it to be broken down. It could be that the whole thing of, hey, my thoughts are with you. If there's anything you need,
But only if
Kinda
you
like-
if you mean it, that's
Yeah,
genuine.
But
yes.
here's the thing. But
Yes.
see, but you don't know what they mean. Or you're looking at it from a third party, saying,
Look,
words.
I-
I'm asking the question.
I
'cause you
can
guys
get
are-
it. I can get it when you know somebody, and let's say my your brother, had something going on with him or something. I'd be like, oh, I'm thinking about him. You know what I mean? I'm thinking about if you need anything. You know what I mean? Whatever it is, like I get that because there's a personal connection there. When it's the hurricane that hit Florida, my thoughts and prayers are with the people.
Okay. So it's
Come
more
on.
of the
You know what I mean?
if there's a true personal connection, you kind of like, all right, that's what you
Makes a
know
little
that
more sense.
Makes more sense.
But what I
Okay.
wanted to also say though, it
Yeah.
doesn't just. I'm not just limiting. Like thoughts and prayers kind of encompass. It's kind of like almost like the name of the podcast, Beanies in Summer. Like
Yeah.
it just kind of, it's just one thing that encompasses a lot of things. Like thoughts and prayers is one thing that, to me, it represents a lot of, like I said, the symbolism
Empty
in
words.
empty words that are going. I mean, how often do you see like things like believe? If you just believe, well, what the fuck does that mean? Just believe and it's going to happen.
Oh,
You know
I
what I mean?
hate
You
that.
see that? Just believe. I mean, you even see it in like sports, like whenever it's like the
Believe.
like playoffs in baseball, you're going to see it. We believe. Well, so what? We believe. Hope. Just hope. You know what I mean? All this shit is just a bunch of fucking words and just a bunch of like thoughts and just positive things, and like that's enough. You know what I mean? Everything's a symbolism. Everything's about words and symbolism. But what I mean, we've turned everything into like hopeful language, and the language is more than anything. You know, and there's things I can't stand. Like even politicians use it. They'll say stuff like, your hard-earned money. They always throw that in there. Your hard-earned money. You know what I mean? Hard-working Americans and their hard-earned money. Like, how many fucking people out there you see working hard? You know what I mean? Working for their hard-earned money. You know, it's all like these words and stuff that everybody
I mean,
gets so hung up
My
on.
hoes work
that-
hard. I just
that-
go collect.
But I mean, like everything's about words that mean more than what's actually freaking happening that I see with my own eyes. You know what I mean?
I know picking fruit is hard. I know that. Sure. I've seen it. I've tried it.
Yeah.
It hurts. It hurts, man. I know that for sure. I mean, but that's rare, you know. That's rare.
Yeah. How many people
Okay,
are really in that much pain after they're done working?
I
You know what I mean?
understand what you're saying.
But I mean, you know, everything's a symbol. Everything's symbolic now, and even this kneeling shit, it's all symbolic. It's a symbolic gesture towards a symbolic piece of cloth. None of it means anything.
That's true. Which is
Kneeling is symbolic.
you'd have
A
to
flag is symbolic. It's all symbolic. It's just symbols. Nothing's anything.
Which
It's
is
just really-
ridiculous.
it's kind of stupid.
It's stupid. It's stupid that it's become like compared to. I mean, it's become synonymous with disrespect now. That's ridiculous. How kneeling now seems to be a sign of disrespect for some reason. It's not the social norm to kneel during the national anthem, but kneeling.
Well, you know what it is. It's I think it's not necessarily the act of kneeling. It's more how I view it is. It's more the refusal to stand, because it's the refusal to stand to bring attention to the issues that they're trying to bring attention to. That's how I look at it. It's like you got to do something, and yeah, you're right. It's everything is symbolic of something else, but that's just the way the society is. Now, I mean, I have my own opinions about, here's the thing. I think, well,
Isn't kneeling?
It's a rabbit hole.
We talk about this all the time, Rich and I. Kneeling it's a symbol. It's a symbol of submission or prayer, or respect or subjugation. It's
Kneel before Zod.
Yeah.
It's
You know,
submission.
it's-
Yeah.
Since when is it a sign of disrespect? I mean,
Well, that's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm
you're,
saying.
You're almost taking away the you are taking the meaning of disrespect. You're misconstruing the true meaning of disrespect. We talk about this all the time too, which is if they're disrespecting the flag per se in its truest meaning, you take a shit on it, you piss on it, you throw the middle finger while they're singing the national anthem. Those are signs of disrespect. You put a swastika on it.
Yeah,
That's disrespecting the flag. Kneeling while the national anthem is playing.
I don't think that's the. I think it's more of, like I was saying, it's the refusal to stand. Like if you could. Now here's the thing. They just happen to be kneeling. They could be sitting. They could be, whatever the case is. It's not the literal focus of the kneeling. It's more of you're refusing to stand.
But if you're protesting something or you're trying to bring, light to a message, you're trying to get a message across. Sometimes you have to do something that's out of the social norm to kind of bring attention to your message. Now,
which is why they're kneeling.
Yes. So what more respectful manner can they do to actually do that. Kneeling is probably the most respectful, protest that they can do to bring light and attention
Yeah.
to what they're trying to accomplish. And yet it's being twisted as like this, oh my God, they're kneeling, boycott, like it's
Yeah.
ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I think it's they're taking it to the extremes.
Yeah.
You know.
And then the message gets lost, right?
Message is lost.
The message is lost.
Yeah.
Like, what were they protesting about?
I mean, I agree with you that it would be the most peaceful way of doing it. I still think it's a stupid way of doing it. I think it doesn't get right to the issue. I think it goes around the issue. I think if he was going to do
Yeah.
it, if they're going to do it, I think they should have had a T-shirt
Yeah.
or something showing the actual problem that they want to address, rather than just guess what I'm protesting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like it's a whole like what the hell is this guy doing? You know what I mean? And then he's got to go. It starts off on the wrong foot just by doing it in the first place. I don't have, if you want to do it, do it. I don't care. You know what I mean? It's just it's a symbol, whatever, symbolic. Give me some of these. Hit it with a sledgehammer. Don't just do it symbolically.
Yeah, I mean, you're right.
I mean,
if you're gonna have a
think
message,
about it. I mean, look at NWA.
if you're gonna have a
They
message,
nailed it,
yeah.
dude. When they came out, it was fuck the police.
Fuck the
Here's
police.
what's happening. You know what I mean? And what happened when they were released? Everybody was like, "Whoa, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What are these?" That's hitting it with a sledgehammer.
Especially
You know what I mean? Coming out
nowadays.
kneeling.
Yeah.
I'm doing a symbolic protest. I'm just gonna, and hopefully somebody does something about it.
No,
You know what I mean? Like
no.
it's, NWA did it right.
Yeah, you had to be
Public Enemy did it right.
You have to be, really, really obvious, especially now.
Yeah.
You can't do symbolism. It doesn't work,
No.
or it gets twisted, and then it becomes this thing that's happening now.
And like I said, like you said, the original. What's the original message now? It's not. It's about whether or not you're kneeling.
Yeah.
It's just a fight about kneeling. It's not a fight about whatever the original protest was.
It's true.
And think of the people who are offended by this kneeling stuff.
Well, how does it get twisted like that in the first place? Obviously he's protesting, bad cops who do illegal things,
Mm-hmm.
or shoot people that don't necessarily need to be shot. Well, how does it all of a sudden become like, oh, he's anti-cop, which isn't the case? Well, what is that? Like, why does it get twisted like that? Why does that happen?
I don't know.
Because people put so much value into the symbol of the flag. That's why. Talking about the value of symbols.
Well, I think it
they
became
put so
anti,
much.
like veteran and stuff like that.
Yeah, why is that too? Why is it anti-veteran if you so-called disrespect the flag? The flag doesn't just represent the military. It represents all citizens of the United States, all its residents, everybody that swears allegiance to the country.
But
it represents all of them. It's not just veterans. Like, what is that too?
And who are you to speak for a veteran anyway?
There's that too. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, these people who complain against the kneeling talk about disrespecting the veterans, but then I'm sure you'll be able to find some veterans who go, I don't give a shit. They can kneel if they want to. You know what I mean? Like, you can't sit there and talk for everybody. You can't talk for a whole entire group of people. You can't do that. You know what I mean?
In fact,
if it bothers you, then it bothers you. That's fine. It bothers you.
I don't know. Even they're conflicted because I have relatives on both sides. I have relatives who are cops and I have relatives who are in the military, and there's a side that says, yeah, they're disrespecting us, whatever, and then there's a side that says, we didn't swear allegiance to just a cloth. We swore allegiance to the Constitution,
Right.
which is, the Constitution allows you to protest. It allows you to disrespect the flag if you wanted to. That's the beauty of it, as long as it doesn't cause harm to anyone, which is that's what they swore to, not to some cloth or whatever it is.
Right.
You're always going to get people on all sides.
I actually did this brainstorm some things that popped into my head of on the side of people who complain about like kneeling as disrespecting the flag. Okay. These are the type of people who would probably get be upset. Like if you just imagine your average person, right, who is complaining about this. Okay, I'm not even saying I can find fault on both sides of it. I've already kind of mentioned a little bit about the actual kneeling part, but the people who complain, okay, you may find within this group of people, okay, people who don't know where all the states are. Correct?
Probably true.
You would probably find people who don't know what all the capitals are. People who don't know where there are what important landmarks or national parks are. People who don't know the history of local places all around the country. Probably don't know important, significant historical figures. Let's say even if they went to a place like Gettysburg, probably don't know anything about it, right? Probably don't know where all the rivers of the country are, or even the major cities. Probably don't know where major rivers and ports are, right? Probably don't know where all the military bases are within this country, right? Could you name all the military bases in this? I can't.
No.
But do you think the average person who's complaining about this could?
No.
Do you think they they know all the American territories besides, of course, Puerto Rico now, and then Guam because it was in the news with North Korea? Do you think they know all the other American territories?
They probably
Do they know all the flags of each state? Do they know every single individual state's flag?
So you're saying so you're putting their
Wait, I'm not done yet, Francis.
Okay.
Do they know their own city? Do they know their own senators and representatives and mayors and all this stuff?
Probably not.
No, I'm just saying, like, this is just the list of things that are like brainstormed in my head. If you're going to complain about kneeling on the flag or during the national anthem, then you had better have all these things covered too, because every single one of those things could be, if you want to talk about so-called disrespecting something, every single one of those things could be seen as also disrespecting the same thing. You know what I mean? If you don't know all the military bases, let's say, in your country, then you're probably could be seen as being disrespectful toward the flag because you don't know it. You don't know all the states. That's kind of disrespectful to your country. If you want to take that angle, you know what I mean? If you're going to care that much, then you had better cover some other bases.
I like to take the...
That's my opinion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like,
those are good points.
those are just complaining. You're just finding a group to complain with. That's what it is. It's the group think complain.
Yeah, it's that whole I'm picking this side and that's all there is to
Yeah,
it.
no, suddenly everybody's so virtuous. You know what I mean? They can't do any of this stuff, but then when they see somebody, they all gather up and they go, we're so virtuous and we can, we're so righteous because we stand. And okay.
You know what else
Do
bugs...
they even know the words of the national anthem?
You know what else bugs me? Is that what you're talking about, that whole virtuous thing? Like, I hate it when someone has an important message, and then instead of kind of analyzing that message or doing something about that message or, talking about that message or that, important subject matter, they attack the person instead. They look for the flaws, like the NFL players who are kneeling or whatever. There's some message there. It's pretty important, right? But then instead they're like, how dare they? Look at all the arrests, in the NFL. What is that too? Like,
so the point never actually gets discussed.
Yeah.
The point of the protest to begin with
That's
never gets
because
discussed.
That's because it goes back to my other point. If they have a message, state a fucking message. Don't do it all symbolically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't be all, I'm going to kneel. I'm going to join hands. Man, this is going to show us. That's going to show everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I said, do NWA, do Public Enemy, do freaking Martin Luther King. Freaking don't kneel. You know what I mean? Like, it's so lame.
Or kneel, but also point out the message at the same time, is what I'm saying. If you could somehow do it, just, I don't know, a poster next to you, whatever, or an interview, or just consistently just keep talking about why you're kneeling in the first place.
Yeah, maybe your post-game interview can have like a little video and be like, you know what? I'd rather talk about this and show the video of like if there's something caught on video.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Somebody
like,
getting shot in the back.
Yeah, be like, can you argue that?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like whatever
Can
it
you
is.
argue that?
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that.
And there's
gets
plenty,
to the
man. I
point.
once stayed up till like 5 a.m. on a work night just watching police brutality videos. It's so interesting because I keep watching it over and over again, and I try to analyze like, well, how can I justify this cop's actions? Like, is it justifiable? And there's plenty out there that you look at and you're just like, man, it really isn't, or it really wasn't. Like, why did it come to that?
Mhm.
Yeah. It's interesting. I don't know. I don't know why it has such a,
That's a whole conversation you can talk about, being, the personality and the types of things you deal with on a daily basis of being a police officer. You know what I mean? There's just all of that comes into play, I'm sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or your training.
Training. Yeah,
Or
a lot
these-
of it's the training.
Yeah. Or these stereotypes that are out there that you kind of you're not even aware that's what you're adhering to, but then you are,
Mhm.
just subconsciously. That's what it is.
But why is it just police that they're... I mean, aren't there other things that get abused, like animals, kids? There's all kind of other things out there that you can bring attention to. Why did it have to be just police?
I don't know. That's a good
There's
point.
plenty of other things out there that are... There's teachers out there abusing students, Why isn't that been attempted
somebody
to be,
has to, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, to answer that, I think, somebody has to do it. If that's the thing they're doing, and then somebody could say the exact same thing with every other person trying to bring up a point. Maybe there's
Right.
a reason. Maybe there's something close to them. Maybe it touches them more
Yeah.
than the other causes. There's like a million causes out there, but really, if you're gonna, you got to pick something you can't pick everything.
Yeah. Maybe he was fucked with a lot, and it just kind of hit home.
So whatever the reason is,
Yeah.
somebody's at least.
But is it really coincidentally at the same time that that's the hottest topic too?
Well, wasn't there like a
I don't understand. Huh?
it was just a week or so of just like, that was all there was that was on the news. And then all of a sudden he started doing it. Isn't that how it started?
Well, I don't know. He started like a year ago, and it was like there was a whole at least year's worth of kind of stuff leading up to that. It wasn't just like a 1 week thing. There was like a lot of those
So
stories.
could it be then just them saying, those who want to protest, like, look, enough's enough. Maybe if their approach isn't the most effective.
I don't know.
but at
I've been
least
seeing a lot of this teacher abuse stuff in the news too. I see it pretty regularly, actually, man. You know what I mean? You'll see a lot of stories on whatever webpage you go to, like for news. You'll see a lot of these stories, man, about
There's
teachers.
been a lot of women teachers.
A
getting
lot of
caught.
women teachers. A lot of
And I
women
think they get
teachers.
caught because they have like 2 or 3 or 4 partners,
Yeah,
and then one of them gets jealous and they say something.
could
You
be.
know, that's what it is,
It-
man.
Talking teachers getting
dude,
involved with students.
Yeah,
Seriously,
yeah,
like
the women
recently,
teachers,
like
yeah.
I would say, like I've seen a lot more of them recently.
Yeah, women
probably like
teachers
this
on
year.
articles,
If you just
yeah.
go on this year, 2017, I've seen a lot of those stories, teacher stories, and I would say like 75% of them have been women.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
But
ridiculous.
there's at least as many of those as I've seen of like police brutality.
Got a question for you.
What?
We've been going for an hour 20.
Yeah.
How long you want to podcast? You want to just keep going?
No, I don't want to keep going forever. but,
No,
I mean,
no.
if we're on a roll, I mean,
Yeah. I just want to know like how, if you want to target a particular length or you don't mind going over an hour.
I don't mind going over an hour, but
Okay.
we probably don't need to go 5 hours.
Okay.
I think that's a good place to stop. Don't you think? For tonight.
It's about 80 minutes roughly.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure we have plenty of other things to talk about.
There's a lot.
A lot
We
of things
only
to say.
touched a
We
little.
want to talk about like 3 or 4 of our topics, but that's good. That's a good thing.
Are we
Hope-
still recording?
Yeah, we're still
Oh,
recording.
we're still
Cool.
recording.
We don't stop recording until we do an outro.
Until we sign off.
Until you sign off.
An outro.
Want to do an outro?
What do you have? Anything else you want to talk about?
No, I kind of want to save it because it's already.
But did we finish what we were just talking about?
Did
Are we good? I'm
Did
kind of.
yeah.
I kind of feel done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think there's an answer really. It's just
No,
more
there's
of a-
no
yeah,
answer, but
yeah.
I think everybody's ridiculous. That's what I have to say.
If you learn it,
Well, everybody in a group, everybody with it.
I don't think everybody's ridiculous. I think a lot of people are ridiculous, but they can still be saved.
Well, everybody.
but you gotta remember, Rich doesn't like everybody.
That's
right.
true.
Well, I mean, I got a problem with people just joining groups, screaming in groups, that kind of thing, because it's you're giving up yourself as an individual and just going with the flow and going with the crowd.
Going with the mob.
I don't like that. I can't stand individual people. Are great. You know what I mean? I can at least have a chance with that. Whatever your group mentality thing is, whatever your mob think is, I will find a way to drill through it. You know what I mean? And not like it no matter what. So that's my problem. This is like a therapy session with you too.
Yeah, I think it's good.
If nothing else, right? If no one cares or no one listens, hey,
Yeah.
at least we're getting stuff off our chest.
No,
True,
seriously.
man.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah,
That's
it's very
beauty.
like you said, it's very therapeutic. It's therapeutic. But it's I don't know.
And it'll be therapeutic for people who listen too. I can imagine listening and people if I'm listening to somebody who's making a point that I agree with or have thought of before and I hear somebody else say it, it's kind of like a relief. You go, yes.
Validation.
Somebody else is saying it. It almost feels like something's getting off your chest.
Yes.
So hopefully
or just people saying things that you didn't necessarily have that type of perspective of before. And you're like, oh, okay, all right. Maybe.
It's like, no, you guys are idiots because of this, and this. And you're like, oh, shit, you're right.
Yeah, we're going to get a lot of people agreeing with me whenever I call everybody an asshole and everybody an idiot. Yeah. I'm not that bad. I'm not really that bad. I just say I hate everybody because I do. No. But anyway, what else you got to say? Polo.
Beanies in summer. That's what I got to say.
Beanies in summer.
Beanies in summer therapy session.
Yeah. The Beanies in summer therapy session for everybody. I don't know. It was a pretty good first podcast. First time go around. What did you guys think?
No, I think we could do better. I think
Of course we could do better, but
I don't think it's a good idea to do it on a Sunday. You know why?
You're dragging?
No, we're just too relaxed at this point. We've
You're not aggravated
You
enough?
had-
No,
Yeah,
I'm
you
not
had
aggravated. I don't have the angst that I usually do, like midweek
Yeah.
Thursday. You're just like, oh God, I just want to just get this out. But because I usually do things to kind of calm myself during Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and so now it's like the third day of just
Well, you separate yourself from whatever the angst is.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever the angst producing
Yes.
All right.
thing is.
Maybe we'll schedule the next one for a peak angst.
Peak
Wednesday
angst.
or Thursday.
Like Wednesday or Thursday.
Although, if you're listening, you would never know what day it was that we recorded.
Yeah.
You'll just know by the quality
The
of
quality of the angst.
content.
The level of angst.
The level of angst.
Yeah. Angst, anger, whatever it is.
The tone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, Beanies in summer. That's what we're going with. Hopefully it catches on. We'll see, but it's good to get it off my chest. Anyway.
Yeah.
Things that I've been.
I like
Things
I thought
that
you
go
liked
my-
things on your chest, not off your chest.
Well, it depends if it's nice and warm.
That's a hot topic.
Yeah. I don't mind that. Warm, creamy.
Pearl necklace?
Now I know why you go with polo.
All right, Rich. Polo.
All right. Beanies in summer. Episode 1 done.
Done.
Peace out.
Bye.